Well, Barrister Mbeseha, this is a disheartening, devastating, and inhumane treatment. Marceline, like other women, also suffer domestic abuse and torture from so-called men who do not understand their place as the head of the home and how protection and respect a woman, how much protection and respect a woman deserves in the family. Now, could we say this is as a result of the ongoing war in Ambazonia? Yes, we could say that. But then, more justly, is the evils of gender-based violence on women. What's your reaction to this, Barrister Mbisi, and how do you think, what better way can we redeem other innocent women and girls from domestic violence and abuse? And how can you say, what can you say, or what's your call and your cry to this ongoing conflict that has made the society to plunge into more despair?
Well, what I can say about it is domestic violence is unacceptable. And let me remind us that either during time of war or time of peace, there will always be families. There will be married people, men and women alike. And so the family will survive either in peace or at wartime. And so there's no room for domestic violence to the extent of killing a woman or killing a husband. The spouses get married to make a happy life. By every indication, she was a very hardworking woman. But suppose that she was the laziest woman in the world. Death is not a penalty for women who are not hardworking. That should not occur in Amazonia. That should not occur anywhere else in the world. If we must link it to this struggle that we are in, to the war, my only connection would be that from the story, after killing the woman, the man disappeared into thin air. And based on what we know about the prosecution of criminals or suspects during time of war, particularly in Cameroon, when the Vamos disappear into thin air, they are gone. We hope this does not happen in this particular case. They don't take the advantage of war and say, well, we cannot find him, we cannot find her. That should never be an excuse. It's you to find him wherever he goes. Let him be brought to justice. Let him answer for his crimes. And this should serve, as I've just said, as a lesson to every single couple. There's no excuse that because of war, you are able to beat your own spouse to death. Yes, war brings hardship, brings difficulties, but under no conditions should anyone, particularly women, mothers, be beaten to death. It's not a strike that kills a woman. It was continuous beating. So it was something very, very continuous. Is there anything in the legal system in Bamenda or in Cameroon, generally speaking, that deals with domestic violence? Because the signs are there. It don't just happen one day. The signs of domestic violence are there. At the end of the day, one of them is dead. But are these things preventable? Of course they are. For it to be preventable, the spouses, the men and women alike, must know what instruments are available to them solve the problem. For women, once beaten, twice may be different. So don't give up yourself to being beaten like a child. Because you get married to stay well, you get married to bring up children. You don't bring up children by beating them. We will grow up as children who are being beaten in school. But that age is past. There's nothing like education by beating. This is about children. Talk less of education by beating your wife, an adult. Worst of all, who are just giving birth. Because women who are giving birth is very, very fragile. And so punching her with all the force that you have is a sign of madness. I'm sure in a proper legal system, if that man were found, he'd be taken to for psychiatric evaluation. Was he normal? Was he really normal? If he was not normal, what caused all this? And so again, I've said, the idea of war is not an excuse why domestic violence should go to that extent. If because of war, the government services are not yet there, are not there, they're no longer there because there's nobody to report to. There's no social service there. But that is not the end of it. Because even before the government services came, all of us had those structures at the level of community. You're suffering domestic violence, you go back to your parents. They call the family meeting, they resolve the issue. Why are you beating this woman? Why are you beating this man? Whatever. Because some women are stronger than men. And so the absence of government regulated social services, domestic services to handle these things, should not discourage, or we should revert to what we had before while waiting for better days to come.
Yes, you're right.
Domestic violence is unacceptable in time of peace, in time of war. Over to you.
Yes, Barrister, it is unacceptable, no matter the level of the difficulties of the war, it is unacceptable to treat a woman with such inhumane level of treatment.